Good day, folks. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Trevor and I am your one-armed bandit in the bush. There's been a fair bit that's gone on since the last video, during the course of the last week. Where we finished off, I was having problems with seepage or weeping on the radiator. Turns out that the radiator needed to be replaced. Unfortunately, it was old age caught up on the poor old thing and it just gave up the ghost. So got a new radiator in, and everything is hunky-dory insofar as that is concerned. So that was an unexpected setback, but I'm very grateful for the service that I got from Quality Automotives in Blanding. Man, their service is just bang on. In fact, so good that I am going back there on Friday for tire rotation to be done, because believe it or not, in Moab they unfortunately won't take appointments and can't tell you how long you got to wait, and etc. So I'm rather going to drive 60 odd miles back to where I'll get decent service rather than put up with that. So anyway, on with the story. Then of course I ran like a chicken after I got my truck back from the service due to the cold weather forecast that was coming into the area. In fact, I was so chicken that I ended up in Florence, Arizona, which is like kind of as close as you can get without hop, skip and a jump, and you're into Mexico. But it was great. I spent some time on some trails out there. I spent more time swinging the machete to clear thorn brushes than I think I did swinging the steering wheel. But anyway, yeah, it was good fun. I had a reasonable campsite there. So from this view taken with the drone, the landscape looks, nothing much to it. Looks pretty mundane, nice and level, flat ground. Well, let me assure you, it was anything but that. For those of you that have driven in this type of terrain, you'll know it requires your full attention, because there are, issues to be dealt with all the way along the trail. So you have to stay concentrated if you don't want to do any damage to your vehicle by coming across surprise rocks or holes, etc. on the trail. And then of course it's a lot of work cutting brush, which is littered with thorns, back and away from the trail. So it's a lot of hard work, but I can assure you, very rewarding once you get to a place like this. It was one of the very few areas in the surrounding terrain that I was driving at that had a campsite that was elevated like this. and then made my way back towards Moab over the weekend. I stopped off at Great Sky Camp Ranch, which is just outside of Sholo, Arizona. And wow, it was quite an experience. They have a brewery on site, tap house that has live music for a limited period of the day, kind of between 4 and 8ish, and over the weekends only. I think it's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think it's only those 4 days. But yeah, no, I had a good time there. In fact, on Sunday, they even got the band to sing happy birthday to me. Oopsie, I'm smacking the microphone. My apologies, man. So yeah, that was quite neat. And very grateful for their hospitality. Thank you, the folk and staff and band from Four Silos Barn on site at the Great Skies Camp Ranch. Total enjoyment. Now I have driven most of the morning into the afternoon, where I've just found a campsite. And I found this campsite on a spur that shoots off the trail that I'm on, which is Hell's Roaring Rim. Yeah, Hell's Roaring Rim. Hopefully that's not Rage. Yeah, I'm sure it's Hell's Roaring Rim. Anyway, that's the trail that I'm busy driving. And I'm just going to take it easy, take it slow. All right, folks, so we have head down, about to hit out on the trail now, and we are going to do Hell's Roaring Rim. So it's about 30 odd miles. I don't know that I want to try and kill all of that today. Looks to be easy going, but I'm sitting at the top of the trailhead here, so I'm just waiting for a vehicle to come from the opposite side, and then we're going to be on our way. And let's go and explore and see what we can find. And let's hope we get a good campsite for tonight. So, stay down. So this view of the trail, you can see it heading out off into the distance. Hell's Raging Rim. It was quite an extraordinary trail to drive. It's not that highly rated, but I can assure you that there were numerous sections that required the engagement of four-wheel low range to make it through. So on Onyx it is rated as a 2, and therefore, it's considered a pretty mundane trail. But as you will see when we hit camp, my goodness gracious, the end of this trail just happens to deliver the extraordinary. said, to Blanding, where I know I'll go and get some good quality service. But I just wanted to maybe also share some reflections on my experiences of Valley of the Gods and Monument Valley. You know, I can't help but think of the place because as I'm riding and driving on this trail, away in the distance, you can see the landscape. It's not too very far from here, and I am at altitude, and I'm camped currently on a canyon site just off Green River. When I get the drone up, and then I'm going to wait until the sun gives the cliffs a little bit of dramatic effect, and then you're going to see what exciter I'm on. Whoa, I tell you. By sheer chance, I mean, if you look at the landscape, the surrounding landscape, you wouldn't really know there's anything here. You'll say, it looks like there could be a really big canyon there, and then all of a sudden, boom, it appears in front of you. So you got to be quite careful not to drive over the edge. So, Valley of the Gods, Monument Valley. Over and above, I think, what I described in those videos already, I can honestly say that it was an experience that I feel kind of really touched me spiritually. That's just how magnificent those two trails were. And I can say that I certainly look forward to going back and spending a bit more time there, because I think that, if you go there just to, spend a day or two, doesn't really do it justice. But a very enriching experience it was indeed. So as I'm making my way further north now, as the summer weather starts to appear and things start to get warmer, I'm going to make my way up into Wyoming, Idaho, all the way up the west coast. So, if any of you have a favorite trail that you might want to have featured on this channel, why don't you either pop something in the comments column, or alternatively, channel email address is banditinthebush@icloud.com. So you could also send me an email with the particulars of the trail or a description of it, or any information you may wish to share. So yeah, banditinthebush@icloud.com. But without any further ado, I think next up is Birdman in the Air. Get a look at this campsite, because this one truly is one of the most spectacular ones that I've really camped on in a long time. Enjoy. So one last aspect that I want to touch on is that of safety when you are out on the trail or working around camp. And I'm not talking about your security, as in external things that could impact your well-being or lack thereof. I'm talking about safety. Those are the things that you do that impact your well-being and comfort of experience. So today was a very stark reminder for me. Whilst closing the gate on the trail, it had a piece of barbed wire around the top of the pole. So it was one of those wire fences, with a metal pole. Put the pole in the bottom loop, pull it, hook the top loop over, off you go. Well, first you got to undo it, obviously. Anyway, taking it off is a piece of cake for me because it's in the four-handed motion. Very easy. Closing it, however, was a different story, and I had to do it in the backhanded motion. And as I was in this backhanded motion, trying to pull the barbed wire, I was actually holding it had a steel post. I was holding it with the side of my face so as not to get scratched with the barbed wire, and trying to hook the barbed wire over the top of the pole like this. And I don't know, I obviously didn't get it over properly, and the thing slipped, and it cut inside of my elbow there in the forearm area. You can see where that cut is. In fact, I'll put a picture up that will show much better what happened. And anyway, that was just a little, something that could have turned quite dangerous, because in the picture you will see that it runs directly over three main arteries and stops just short of the fourth one. And to be quite honest, if it was just a fraction deeper, one artery, I think I've probably got a chance in terms of helping myself out with compression. And I carry bleeding powder on the truck, which I've already had to use on this trip when I cut my finger open. But that also was difficult to compress to stop the bleeding. If it's 3 or 4, I'm not too sure. And now you got to call 911. Yeah, so you get the picture. So take your safety very seriously. A lesson for me was always think of what can go wrong. Right? So rather look at what is the alternative. The alternative is to close it from the other side and climb through the fence versus risking doing something like that. So that's one alternative. Right? The other alternative is take a ratchet strap out the back, hook a ratchet strap around it, tick, tighten it with a ratchet strap, loop the barbed wire over it. I don't know why barbed wire gets put over the loop and on the inside of the loop to close the fence. It's beyond me. But anyway, there it was, barbed wire. So, but you could use a ratchet strap. I don't know that bungee cords would be of any use there, because once that wire starts to pull taut, you need a little bit of extra force, which is what was happening. I was pushing and shoving with my head and trying to pull the wire over at the same time, and bingo, there you go. So be careful. Your safety, particularly guys disabled, you only got one leg, you only got one arm, or you have some other mobility challenges. Just be mindful of the things that could happen. I've got a mate Corey that does this, and he's in a wheelchair. So, we need to be extra careful of the things that we do. So, with that, endeth the sermon on safety. They say that getting up at sunrise has rewards in abundance to offer. Well, here we go. This is a look at sunrise. Yeah, well, that's what it looks like at first light. got out of the tents already, huh? Sunrise is too bright. Zoom out a bit. This canyon's just going forever. Look in this direction. We'll zoom one. Goes on forever, man. All the way that way. And then that's canyon lands further out on the other side. So, we are in a restricted area of flying here. You can only have drone in some places, not everywhere. So, don't ask me to go fly the drone on the other side of the river because I'm not going to do that. There you are. Morning chore done. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and add some comments. Come on, man. Let's get a dialogue going. Look forward to seeing you on the next one.